Hey guys, I was doing a lot of deep thinking and I think I found was probably the best solution to mention Stephen Hyde in that 90's show in the future. It's just an idea I came up with that they could try, and I think it's probably the best idea that anyone could come up with. Kill off his character. Now I know that's sad to do, but I want there to be a moment, maybe season 2, season 3, season 4, however long that 90s show goes, but I think there should be a moment where Eric, Donna, Fez, Jackie, Kelso, they're all in the same room together. Maybe you can do this during the finale. Somehow, for some reason, they're all together again. Eric mentioned something like, oh, well, we all haven't been the same since Hyde passed away. And they all start, getting a little emotional, and they're like, oh, we know, we tried our best to move on from it, and it was really hard for us. I think this is a great idea because it's like watching that scene, if they did it, it's like collectively all the fans feel the emotions of the original characters in that scene, because what happened to him in real life is like the death of his character on the show anyway. They can explain something like he died in like, I don't know, a car crash or something in like 1984, 1985, something like that. So you can say, well, it's been a long time since he passed, and by 1995, the first season, that's why they're not really talking about him, and that's why they didn't mention him at all, like in the first season in 1995. And I know that's a sad thing to do, to end his character, but I mean, his character's already ended. I think it would work for the reasons I mentioned, and it would also honor the character because they're not disrespecting his character in any way. It would also be relatable because this kind of shit happens in real life, sadly. All the fans, including them, we would all collectively like feel that emotion from that moment. Of course, there's that theory that one of the new girls in that 90s show is the daughter of Stephen Hyde. It's possible. And another thing I want to mention, and please let me know if any of you agree with me on this, and I hope this doesn't offend anyone, but I actually thought they could have included maybe a clip of Stephen Hyde when they did the flashback circle at the finale of the first season of that 90s show. Fez is with the kids, and he says something like, I miss my people. Then they have a flashback, and they show the younger version of, like, all of them, like Eric, Jackie, right, Donna, Kelso, and Hyde was missing, and it was pretty jarring. And I think especially for the finale of the first season, like, they could have included a small clip of him just laughing in the spot where he was in the circle, using the flashback footage. Just to acknowledge that he was such a huge and important character in the series, and how in real life he meant so much to the actors who worked on the show. I thought that would have been a really cool idea, and that would be the perfect way to see any final footage of him in the show. And you didn't have to have him say anything, you just could have had one of those clips where he was laughing or something. And it didn't have to be long, it could be way shorter than the others in his little clip. You could have it be like 3 seconds, 4 seconds at the most. Then just switch right to Kelso or whatever. I think that was a huge missed opportunity, and I know why they didn't want to do it, but I don't know if there really would have been such a massive backlash from the fans if they did that. Maybe to people who aren't fans of the show, maybe they would be offended, but I don't know. I think a lot of fans would have liked that. I know they wanted the first season to be so successful so that it keeps continuing, so they played it like very safe and didn't mention him at all in the first season of that 90s show. They didn't show that, and I think that's why they didn't want to show a clip of him during the flashback circle, but it just would have been fucking perfect, and that could have been the final time he's acknowledged in the show, just that one tiny little clip, because when Fez says that, when he says, I miss my people, of course he misses Hyde too, and it would also be better if they go with my idea of killing off Hyde's character. If they explain that later, then that moment of Fez saying, I miss my people, and you see a younger version of Hyde, that would have been even more perfect. So, based on the controversy, I understand why they didn't want to mention him or do anything with his character in the first season. But now the first season has passed, and the show is decent success. There's people that love it, or people that like it, and there's people that really don't like it, but I think it has a pretty warm reception. I like it. I hope it continues. I think they need to work on the humor, some of the characters, but I thought it was pretty good. But now the first season is past, so maybe you can mention Hyde in season 2, 3, or 4, or 5. At least one time. I think explaining that he died is a perfect way to give his character a send-off. And I know that's a sad thing to do, but what happened to him in real life was also sad. But it's a perfect way to acknowledge him one last time and just confirm how important who he was as a person to all the characters on the show, including Red and Kitty. He was such a huge part of the original series. I mean, him and Eric became like brothers when he moved in, and he lived with them, and he wasn't even related to them. That didn't happen to any of the other characters on the show. Although they were close with Red and Kitty, it wasn't as close as how it was with Hyde. It's not like in the original series, like no character died ever. That's happened in the show. I think Red's grandfather died in one episode. Not Red, I mean Eric's grandfather died in one episode, I think. I think another character died. I think like 2 or 3 characters died in the original series. Let me know in the comments. I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure there were characters that died in the original series, and I know they weren't like the main cast, but still characters have died in the show before, so. And yeah, I don't know, as an added bonus, like Leo and Hyde were very close, like friends in the original show. Smoking weed together, working at the mail place. Wouldn't it be cool if there was a future episode where, say it's the last time Hyde's mentioned again, maybe Leo's there or whatever, and he's like spaced out like he always is, so he like doesn't remember as well as they do. What if he says something like, "Hey, yeah, man, I remember this kid with frizzy hair and dark glasses. I used to hang out with him, man." Just some shit like that. So that we notice that Leo still remembers him and the fun they had together and, what it meant to the characters and all that. Plus, mentioning that Hyde died in the show, it would be emotional to the cast of the original series to mention him like this in the show. So we could get some real emotion from the acting if Eric, talks about it with all of them. I think it would be pretty powerful. It could be one of the most powerful moments in the series. Anyway, that's my idea. Let me know what you guys think. Peace.